If you had the opportunity to ride one, would you give it a go? Number 9. 1953 Cunningham C3. Next on the list is this adorable Cunningham C3. The Cunningham C3 was a high-performance GT car developed by American racing driver Briggs Cunningham. This car was never designed with profitability in mind, but to meet the 25-car homologation requirement needed to compete in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Leno is the proud owner of one of the few remaining Cunninghams, a sleek piece of early American sports car history. This beauty packs a punch with a 5.4-liter Chrysler Firepower Hemi V8 engine, fed by 4 Zenith downdraft carburetors. For a relatively small car, it knows how to move. The chassis was crafted by Vignale in Italy before being shipped to West Palm Beach, Florida for the final touches, blending American muscle with Italian style. It's a truly rare and stunning combination that makes the Cunningham a highly sought-after collector's car today, moving into the final 10. Number 10. 1939 Lagonda V12. Next on the list is the Lagonda V12, a car so rare, even Leno couldn't get his hands on one. Then why is it on this list? Well, Leno loved this car so much that he went and bought a replica. True to its name, only 12 Lagonda V12s were produced, and all 12 were designed during the tenure of the infamous Walter Owen Bentley. Talk about oozing rich history. The Lagonda V12 isn't just a story vehicle. Oh no, this car also packs a punch under its hood. The Lagonda V12 packs a 4.5-liter Lagonda V12 engine that allows it to reach a top speed of 105 miles per hour easily. Even though Leno's is only a replica, it is so well made and so true to the original that it could easily go for millions at the right auction. Another car that can fetch a lot of money at any auction is the ultra-rare Chrysler Turbine. Number 11. 1963 Chrysler Turbine. With a gas piston engine that whooshes like a jet, this car caused quite a stir when it debuted at the 1964 New York World's Fair. People were so eager to experience it that the line to test drive it wrapped around the block. The Chrysler Turbine could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 12 seconds and had a top speed of around 120 miles per hour. Due to the nature of turbine engines, fuel economy was not one of its strong suits. It averaged only around 11 to 14 miles per gallon. Originally, about 130 of these futuristic rides were built in the early 1960s, but today, only 9 remain. Is the proud owner of one because naturally, if it's rare and has wheels, it's probably in Jay's garage. Number 12. 1989 Ford Shogun. Next is the 1989 Shogun, a car that commands respect. A true showstopper, this Ford Shogun is one eccentric hunk of metal. Road and Track dubbed it the crazy mid-engine hatch Ford never made, while Leno himself admits there's nothing quite like it. Merging American muscle with Japanese precision, this machine is worlds apart from the humble Ford Festiva, which originally packed a modest 58 horsepower. Thanks to the genius of Chuck Beck and Rick Titus, this Festiva underwent a wild transformation, with a Yamaha-built V6 engine, borrowed from the Taurus SHO, transplanted into the rear. If you ever spot tearing up the California highways in this little monster, you're witnessing one of the best power-to-weight ratios of its era. Packing about 220 horsepower, courtesy of that V6 engine and a little extra kick from a nitrous tank, it's a far cry from its economy car origins. Number 13. 1950 Mercedes-Benz Race Car Transporter. As its name suggests, the Mercedes-Benz Race Car Transporter was used to transport race cars because if anything Pixar's Cars has taught us, it is that race cars need to be carried. Mercedes-Benz spared no detail in creating this beautiful and unique transporter. It shared a similar design with Mercedes' popular 300 SL and came equipped with a straight 6 engine with 3 liters of displacement, making it the fastest race car transporter ever as it could reach a top speed of 100 miles per hour. However, Mercedes destroyed this one-of-a-kind race car in 1960 as they deemed it too outdated. The poor thing, many fans were upset with the destruction of this car and expressed their displeasure so much that Mercedes had to build a replica and keep it in their museum in Germany. So, how did Jay get one? It turns out that a Swede built another replica and Jay snatched it up. He now uses it to transport his race cars like just driving the race cars themselves wasn't cool enough. Speaking of Sweden, this next car comes from there, but you may never have guessed so. The real superstar car. New age but mind-blowing. Number 14. 2010 Koenigsegg CCXR Tre Vita. Anything else but a Koenigsegg CCXR Tre Vita is wrong. so leave a comment if you get it right. There are only 2 hand-built CCXR Tre Vita, and of course one of them found its way into Jay Leno's garage. And what do you know? Christian von Koenigsegg, the mastermind behind Koenigsegg, personally delivered this Tre Vita to Jay Leno. Tre Vita is Swedish for 3 whites. Originally, Koenigsegg planned to make 3 of these hypercars, but it turns out turning dark carbon into a shimmering silvery white is no easy feat. So only 2 CCXR Tre Vitas ever saw the light of day. This rare automotive jewel dazzles with its silver white carbon fiber body and a beastly twin supercharged V8 engine lurking under the hood. That engine cranks out a staggering 1,018 horsepower and 797 pound-feet of torque. In just 2.7 seconds, this speed demon rockets from 0 to 60 miles per hour and tops out at a blistering 254 miles per hour. If you think this car is insane because of its rarity, hold on to your hats because we are about to enter loan car territory. And as we move into the 5 remaining cars you're about to see, be rest assured that these cars only exist in Jay Leno's garage. Number 15. 1952 Talbot Lego T26 GSL. Next on the list is the super rare Talbot Lego T26 GSL, with only about 19 to 21 of these models built. Getting hands on it is something only Leno could pull off. Sit back and relax, it's story time. Talbot Lego was taken over by Antonio Lego in the mid-1930s. Unfortunately, his tenure was met with the Great Depression, and Lego quickly found himself in financial trouble just as his pre-war models were rolling out. By 1951, the Talbot Lego company was on the brink of collapse, thanks in part to the expensive development of the post-WW2 Grand Sport, a car with roots in the T26C Grand Prix model. Antonio Lego's goal was to woo the wealthy with a coach-built sports car that had the heart of the T26C Grand Prix. The Grand Sport was built on a true sports car chassis, making it a stylish, fast machine ready for both rallies and races. After the war, the French government decided big engines were a no-go, slapping a ban on anything over 2.7 liters and imposing hefty taxes on those who dared to defy. Combine that with skyrocketing gas prices and consumer interest in powerful luxury cars took a nosedive. Fast forward to 2012, when this strange French car resurfaced, and Jay Leno snapped up this curious car. Remarkably well preserved with its original paint, engine, interior acrylic window panels, bumpers, and 18-inch wire wheels, this GSL is one of a kind. This car comes with a factory-upgraded 4-speed manual transmission, triple Weber carburetors, and race car competition badging, suggesting it might have been built with a little extra speed in mind. Number 16. Blastoline Special. Jay Leno snagged the Blastoline Special for $125,000 back in 2003, and while the car's value now sits around $350,000, we can only imagine how much Jay has invested in it since. When Jay first bought the tank car, it was a bit of a wild beast. It had no rear brakes, no headlights, and no turn signals. Jay added hefty side struts and swapped the front end with a GMC truck axle. He also upgraded it with a new 6-speed Allison automatic gearbox and completely overhauled the electrical system. The engine? That needed replacing after the original one decided to dump oil all over a California highway. Jay upgraded to a new engine with fuel injection and twin turbochargers. The tank car's horsepower nearly doubled from 900 to a whopping 1,600, with a redline of 2,900 RPM. This 30-liter V12 monster now cranks out an earth-shaking 3,000 lb-ft of torque, launching the tank from 0 to 60 in just 6.2 seconds, about the same as a modern Mini Cooper S. And with a top speed of over 140 miles per hour, it can rocket through a quarter mile in 14.7 seconds at 93 miles per hour. Not bad for a car that started life as a tank. Number 17. 2006 GM EcoJet Concept. Next is a car unlike anyone on this list, the GM EcoJet Concept. Leno teamed up with General Motors to design it, which explains why it's one of his absolute favorites. Instead of the usual engine, this futuristic ride is powered by a Honeywell LTS-101 gas turbine, the kind typically found in helicopters. Running primarily on biofuel, this car also has an oil tank for Jet A kerosene. The jet fuel ensures a smooth startup and keeps the turbine clean after a drive since biofuels can be a bit gunky. Inside, you'll find an Azentec car computer system running on Windows Vista, complete with dual LCD screens nestled in the dashboard. Guys, what do you think of this high-tech 2006 vehicle? Number 18. 1963 Jaguar XK. The 1963 Jaguar E-Type is easily one of the best British sports cars of all time. You couldn't ask for better, and Jaguar sold a lot of this vehicle. So why is it on a list of rare cars? Jay Leno's Jaguar is not exactly the one you may know and love. Jay loves to tweak his cars, but his tweaks stand out as he does enough to make them superior but not stray from the original. Unlike the normal E-types that come with a 3.8-liter inline-six engine, Jay's Jaguar comes custom-built with a 5.7-liter V12 engine and a 5-speed manual transmission, but what truly sets Jay's XK apart is that it's the only short-wheelbase model in the world equipped with a V12 engine, securing its well-deserved spot on this list. Number 19. 1934 Duesenberg Walker Coupe. Duesenberg vehicles are usually some of the most expensive cars around, but this Walker Coupe takes pricey to a whole new level. When this Duesenberg Walker Coupe was released, it had an MSRP of $25,000, which is around $500,000 in 2024. The Walker Coupe is simply beautiful, and seeing as this is the only one, Jay Leno is a pretty lucky man to own it. Under its hood, this beauty packs an inline 8 engine with a displacement of 6.9 liters and 265 horsepower. Duesenbergs are usually among the priciest American cars sold at auction, so you can only imagine the fortune the Walker Coupe would fetch if Jay ever decided to part with it. We reckon somewhere between 20 to 30 million. How much would you bid for the Duesenberg Walker Coupe? Let us know in the comments. Number 20. 1931 Shotwell. The rarest car in Jay Leno's collection remains the Shotwell. Don't fret if you've never heard of the Shotwell. That's because it was built in 1931 by Bob Shotwell, when he was only 17 years old. Jay Leno kept this car, which uses a 3-speed gearbox and a 4-cylinder air-cooled Indian motorcycle engine, in mint condition. The engines power the rear wheel, while the 2 front wheels are for steering. The Shotwell can reach a high speed of 60 miles per hour and has covered 150,000 miles before Jay acquired it. In typical Jay fashion, our collector added a few modern elements like an electric starter, fuel pump, and cooling system, and fixed a faulty trike. Summary. Most times, people say you can tell a lot about a person just based on the hobbies of the person. For such an iconic man, iconic comedian such as Jay Leno, his hobbies for collecting not just cars, but ultra-rare supercars is a true testament of his superior refined taste in cars. And simply taking one look at Jay's garage, and you can almost feel the man's true love for cars. While he has more than 120 cars in his collection, he knows each and every one of them like the back of his hand. À tout connaisseur. As we wrap this video for now, true hobbies and true collections aren't really a show of wealth alone, but the show of true admiration and affection for the item being collected, as exemplified by the incredible thought Jay Leno put into his car collection. So, you can also start your own cute little collection or anything that genuinely resonates with you. Finally, describe your favorite car from Leno's garage in the comment section with just 3 words. I'm excited to see your creativity, and if you enjoyed this video as much as I did, please leave a like and subscribe.